All right. Boy, just to recap a little bit after watching the tape, certainly was an explosive start, and some of it really had to come into our skill players, and I thought Andrew did an exceptional job, particularly early in the game, coming off a couple receivers. One of the first touchdown we had actually scripted, and we were upset with the scout team because that guy corner didn't do something right, and we threw the ball, and same doggone thing happened in the game. Thought it was probably one of Andrew's best performances. The offensive line protected particularly well, really well, and I thought we were pretty balanced as far as our ability to run and throw it. And so a big win for us defensively. We certainly did some good things, and then I thought we had to neutralize a couple of their players. One of their players, number 7, was a really good wide receiver. We tried to just say we're going to limit the number of explosive plays. I think we did that. Played clean football, 0 penalties, won the turnover margin. So a big win for us. And obviously want to say thanks to our fans. They have been great, led by our students. And now flipping the page to accomplish something that we have not accomplished is win on the road. And, trying to search for some reasons why. Some of it had to be, I think we played some pretty good teams. But what we're also seeing is the competitive nature of the Mountain West. When New Mexico goes into Fresno and handily beats Fresno, I think it gives you an indication of parity. And, you're seeing Air Force kind of go up and down, and we are where we're at. We're excited about this ball game, going out to Nevada. Lewis is an excellent quarterback. He's a dynamic player, was heavily recruited. I believe he started out at Colorado, but he's a dual threat guy. Bianco started the game against CSU and got knocked out of the game. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll be available. But nonetheless, big-time players. Number 5, Campbell, is a great receiver. They got a big offensive line, a multiple front on defense where they do penetrate. Their corners are playing excellent. So I want to give a shout out to Jalen Ortiz, who's one of our former players, has been coaching their corners. So we're excited about playing this ball game to see if we can get to 1-0. So Ryan, you're first.
Greg, do you like, it's Thanksgiving week obviously, do you like this schedule better than last year? I think you had a Friday game after a physical Boise State game.
Yeah.
Just kind of what is your Thanksgiving week schedule?
There will be no school on Wednesday, and so we'll move some things up a little bit. Thursday we'll have a morning practice. Typically we do an afternoon or an evening practice, but we'll do a morning practice, and that gives the opportunity for our guys who are servicing on the scout team to go home. And then we have a great Thanksgiving dinner that's hosted by Altitude, who does a great job. And so we're taking over the restaurant, and all our families come. The players are there. It's somewhat of a festive time. And then guys will probably go home, take a nap after that. I'll be working, though. And then we get up Friday morning and go through a day, and then we'll hop on our charter here and go out and play. I think it's an evening game, 6 o'clock game. So that's kind of our schedule. It's amended a little bit. And as a coach, I was interesting. I swung in Starbucks today, and they said, well, what are you going to do for Thanksgiving? I say, I'm working. They go, well, that's about, well, I've been doing that for 41 years. So, but nonetheless, we get in our routine. But Thanksgiving with the players and, our families, it's a neat time.
Did you get out of this Hawaii game relatively healthy, would you say?
I think so, yeah. There wasn't any, we had some, Rook was not able to play. But everybody, then we had Ja'Cory cramped up for a while. Then, no, I will say this, Buck Coors I think is going to be doubtful. He pulled his hamstring. Buck played pretty well. But we are anticipating Rook being back, and then Wyatt Eckler will be okay. He cramped up as well. But outside of that, I think we're pretty doggone healthy. And so for late in the year, with where we're at, if you just look at those starting lineups, I think we're in pretty good position.
Obviously, you coached in a lot of rivalry games as an assistant in the Big 12 on Thanksgiving-ish.
Yeah.
This is not really a rival, Nevada, but it's a Mountain West opponent. How do you guys kind of get the guys geared up?
Well, I think the first thing is there's a hunger that our guys have that they want to show that we can, we're unbelievable at home. And that's, that's great. I mean, and we're not minimizing that to go 7-0. But, there's got to be something that we have to overcome to go ahead and zero out some of the things that maybe distractions or not customary and go out and really play well. And, I thought for a while against Air Force we played well, but it's going to be important that we start fast and put that behind us. And like you said, while there's not tons of history between us and Nevada, they are a Mountain West team. And I know they'll be competitive, and Coach Wilson will do a good job with them, and they'll be ready to go.
So I know there's a lot of cons to the transfer portal, but how special is it to get a guy like Iyer in here for one last year to see the presence that he's
Yeah, he's really had a big time, injection of athleticism. I mean, he can stretch the field. He's got really good hand-eye coordination. He's nifty. We threw the now screen down on the goal line. Made a nice move there. We ran the jet sweep, and I was ready to really get after him because I didn't think he was running very hard, and he basically was setting him up. But he's been a really good addition, and by and large, I would say the guys that we have added through the transfer portal, we've probably had more hits than misses. I'm not saying we're 100%, but we've adapted. I've evolved as a coach that this is the world that we're in, and we better figure out how to navigate it.
Obviously, Easton and Shea played really well, especially stat-wise, and had that sack together. How are Connor Shea and Cole DeMarzo doing kind of?
They're doing okay. There's a separation, though, between the two. You'll see them rotate in, Ryan, and typically it's because of number of plays that we're playing. It's not that, those guys are, reaching a limit to where they're really pushing, breathing down their neck. And so, but I do think the future looks bright for those guys next year.
Did you like what you saw at Tyreekis?
Oh, yeah. You know what? And Tyreekis is a transfer, but he's a junior college transfer from Navarro. And, really competitive, tackles well, and, not real big in stature, but is an unbelievable competitor, and he's getting better as we go. He was injured and missed quite a bit of time, and now he's back at 100%. He's a father, and he's got maturity, and he's added a lot. And the two corners we got out there are he and Ja'Cory, and both Ian Bell played well as well for a freshman.
Nevada's two quarterbacks, are they similar? Do they run the same plays? How would you get ready for both of them?
They do have a similar pattern. I think Lewis is maybe more nifty on the ground. Not maybe, he is. He's, he made several plays against CSU with his legs, and he's got a good arm. Bianco's a little bit more a traditional quarterback. He's bigger. He's 6'4". But their offense doesn't change significantly. However, Lewis will stress you more.
John Michael has made a lot of big plays for you guys across the season. Can you just kind of speak to his growth as in the offense?
I think these guys up here will tell you, he was on the scout team during the majority of the year last year, and then we moved him up because we kept on, the defensive guys, we can't cover him. Then he put on, I think, probably maybe 15 pounds of lean muscle mass, and he's one of our fastest players. And so, he's made some plays, but that play he made, we got matched up. They went corners over, and it was a mismatch, and he pulled away from people. So it's great to have him. He and Trayton really complement one another, and we're able to do some things with those tight ends. And sometimes we actually run 13 personnel where there's 3 tight ends, but we can spread them out, and they can stretch the field. And John Mike is, like I said, he complements our offense, but the future looks really bright. I mean, you're looking at a 6'4", 245-pound guy that can roll and got really good hand-eye coordination. Sounds like an NFL tight end to me.
Wenzel hit some big threes for the basketball team yesterday, and Linder said, because he was slumping shooting, he just needed to see one go in, and off he goes. Do you think Hoyland's the same way? He just needs to make a few.
You know, I don't know. I feel for John right now. You know, I talked to him right after the miss, and that he's well capable of it. So, you know, I know enough about kicking to be dangerous, and I'm convinced with where we're at, it's not something that he does not have the ability. I think there's some confidence things that we need to do to get him in a groove, because if you look at his body of work earlier in the year, it was phenomenal, and then it's kind of gone off. And so they kicked off well, but yeah, we're going to need to get that part of our game going, because we're going to be in that gray area where we're going to need a 45-yarder. And like I said, he's got the leg well capable of it. And we got to have a breakthrough. So maybe I should give Jeff a call and see what he did.